Welcome back to Stacks and Stories. I'm Kathy Kraemer, the secondary librarian at American Overseas School of Rome. And
I'm Laura Gordon, and I'm in the elementary library at the American Overseas School of Rome.
we just came back from a European librarian conference. I know what you're thinking. We think you're thinking that must have been just wild, right? You're thinking it was maybe 5 or 10 blue haired ladies sitting around in chairs like this, knitting and talking about books. Oh, they're wearing cardigans and they have buns. That's what you're thinking. And glasses. No, that's not what it was like. Laura is going to tell you what it was really like, the topics.
Okay, so at a librarian conference, it isn't us just sitting around talking about the latest and greatest books. What we really do is we talk about how the libraries impact the students and the learners in our schools. And I brought the program to kind of prove that the things that we talk about as librarians when we meet together are things such as concept-based library curriculum. We talked and learned about innovative school library programming. We learned about using data to highlight our libraries.
Artificial intelligence.
Yes, AI and ethics. We learn all sorts of things about how we can make our students and our libraries a better place. And it's not just about books. Obviously, books are important, but we don't just learn about those things.
Exactly. So you can take your stereotypes. Bye-bye. So we also wanted to tell you just a little bit of what it's like in the library every day. So in my library, there's probably 40, 50 kids here at any time. And so it's a bit like running a library bookshop or a bookshop. And then I also team teach with teachers or teach kids how to do research, how to work with AI. Most importantly, what I've been doing is getting kids to read for pleasure. How about you?
Okay, we always talk about the invisible side of being a librarian and all the things we do behind the scenes that don't get seen by kids or other teachers or parents. And the things that go on in my library is obviously I see all the kids every single week. They come in for scheduled classes, but behind the scenes, I'm doing things like reading books. That means taking out the old books from the library that don't have any use anymore, because we're not a book museum, we're a library. We need to make sure our books represent our students and are up to date. I am repairing books. I have a book hospital. I don't know if you've ever seen my book hospital,
I
Ms.
do
Kraemer.
too. Yeah.
But I have a book hospital and I repair books on a weekly basis. We are constantly looking at books to order books to make a list of what we need for next year. I'm constantly looking at the books so that when I see kids come in, I can say, oh, I know a good book for you.
Yes, that is so important.
And so we learn as librarians the kinds of students we have, the kinds of readers they are, and that's a huge part of our job. And a lot of that goes unseen.
When I mention reading for pleasure, it's more than reading for pleasure. It is reading so you can build endurance. So when you go to university, just like a sport, you have to work up your endurance. With reading, you have to work up your endurance with reading. So when you go to university and they give you a book that's that big, you can get through it. And the more you read, the faster you can read and the more you understand. So
yeah, and just to add on to that, because in high school, the focus is reading to so that you have stamina. The same is true in elementary, but I always talk about choice in the library. Kids come in and they have a choice of what they want to check out. I don't dictate what they check out. If they're reading Dogman after Dogman after Dogman, then I'll gently guide them to try and read something else, but I'll never tell them not to read their favorite books. And so our job scaffolds. My job as an elementary library scaffolds onto her job as a secondary librarian.
Absolutely. So our program builds upon each other. So next week, we have more topics for you. Thanks for watching.